Welcome back to the channel. We're back in the seat and we're back talking about the pride of North Wales, Wrexham Football Club. We're just going to bypass Tuesday night's game against Stevenage. I think you can understand why, and we're going to be hopefully giving a brighter spin on something that's happened this week regarding Wrexham Football Club. So before we get going in today's video, if you'd like to see more Wrexham AFC content, then make sure to get down there and click the red subscribe button. We're on the road to 26,000 subscribers, and of course drop a like, do all that good stuff. And without further ado, let's get talking Wrexham AFC. Now, following a recent event hosted by Fearless and Devotion in Wrexham, new CEO Michael Williamson was asked a few very interesting questions and gave a few very interesting talking points, which I think is really worth making a video on. So the first point we're going to be talking on is a training ground. Now, Michael Williamson stated that a new training ground for Wrexham Football Club is the next priority after the Kop Stand is built by the projected date in the summer of 2026. At the moment, of course, Wrexham currently train at Colliers Park, with us also using, the training centre at Carden Park, 9 acre from time to time. We're sharing the facilities at a lot of other different places, and I think, of course, it is a main issue at the minute that Wrexham Football Club do not have a training ground. I think, plans to have one have been neglected for years, and I think it finally is time to get that permanent training facility home for Wrexham Football Club, because this was a topic that was viewed as an issue at the start of the takeover when Wrexham Football Club were in non-league. We're now competing at the top end of League One in a promotion race to the Championship, and we still don't have a permanent training facility. So in my opinion, I think it's equally as big of a priority to have a permanent training facility than getting the Kop Stand built up in the near future. So I think as well, it's interesting to note that Michael Williamson also stated that recruitment in League One and the Championship is difficult for Wrexham Football Club without having that training facility. Yeah, I think as well, if we're talking on training facilities, Wrexham have also had the green light to build a new multi-million-pound training complex for the youth teams near the Darling School. The complex for the youth team will include 2 buildings, changing rooms, offices, medical room and a gym. So hopefully, it's good in terms of development for the youth team and the youth setup. So let's hope the men's team can follow in those footsteps and get a training facility. I don't even know if it'd be worth, sharing with the youth team, as we are obviously on the search and securing that permanent training facility. Now, the next topic we're going to be talking on is club roles. Now, Sean Harvey is not involved in the day-to-day runnings of Wrexham Football Club, as he has moved into his new role as non-executive director. This, of course, comes after Colleen Allen was appointed as the executive director last week. Humphrey Carr has also taken up a new role as the board's community director. Now, I think Alan spoke really well in her first interview that was, of course, released on all social medias. She really showed her passion and ambition for this project at Wrexham Football Club. She understood, the roles and what needs to be done at the football club in the next couple of years. And, I think there will be a lot of hard work to be, put in behind the scenes to make sure we do reach our dream destination and make sure this club is running so freely and we've got everything we need to take the club from where we are currently here to here. Of course, the dream destination is a Premier League football club. We're hopefully going to get the training ground. Of course, we've got the new youth setup in Wrexham, which will hopefully boost our youth system and get it at the top of our game and, competing with some of the top academies in England. And of course, the Kop Stand and future racecourse renovations. She is, really ambitious, and you could see in the interview that she is 100% in it for this job, and she will do everything we can. So I'd recommend watching that. I think it's on YouTube, and Wrexham put it on the club website, but yeah, well worth a watch. And an interesting point now, we're talking on kit news. Williamson stated that there will be kit supplier news coming out in the near future for Wrexham Football Club, and that global distribution is key for us. So if we're looking in terms of this, it's very likely that I think, those words speak that Wrexham will move on from Macron. Of course, I think a couple of fans have wanted Macron sort of not as our shirt supplier, but they'd like to have that bigger option, the Nike, the Adidas, the Pumas, who will create better quality kits, better quality designs. As well, if we're reading this, Williamson clearly stated that, the priority is to distribute our kits globally, produce and sell more shirts around the world, and I think Macron have done a good job of that. But can they go any further to compete with the likes of Nike, Puma and Adidas, which I think are all in the consideration for possibly becoming Wrexham's new shirt manufacturer? I think Nike or Adidas would love to jump at the opportunity to possibly make those kits for Wrexham Football Club, draw up some absolute masterpieces to be sold all across the world. If we're looking at Nike as well, if you cast your minds back to around 10 seasons ago now, they produced 3 really nice shirts for us in the 150th anniversary season. The home shirt, which of course is up there, they had the white and black away one and the green one, which I don't think actually went on sale to the general public, but three really nice shirts, and three shirts that I think still hold up really well 10 years on from now. And I've always been a fan of the kits that Nike have drawn up for multiple teams, whether it's in our league or whether it's teams in the Premier League, European teams across the world. They always make good kits, and I think bringing them into Wrexham would be such a good, sort of addition to us. And as well, if we're looking in terms of quality, they're definitely better than Macron and Adidas. It's a question of whether they can, produce the high quality kits and also meet the demand of fans across the world. Because, Wrexham Football Club have sold tens and thousands of shirts every single season. It's a question of can they, produce these high quality kits and also distribute them in their tens of thousands. I think as well an important point to note is, of course, Michael Williamson also has good ties with Nike from his time when they were the manufacturer at Inter Milan. So whether that's going to play a factor and whether that could, help us, possibly get Nike in as the kit manufacturer, I really don't know. I don't think it will. Adidas could come back 2015-16. You might remember those kits as well, which were hideous in terms of quality, and I think they were one of the poorer kit manufacturers we've had over the past couple of years. But it's a question that's open to anyone to debate about, and I think, and in my opinion, I would love to see Nike come in. He also stated as well that our away shirt should tell people that Wrexham Football Club are from Wales, and our third shirt should be fun and creative, which I can definitely get behind. How many times do you see football clubs, wearing their third shirts and, taking it really seriously in terms of designs? Why not go out? Why not go a bit wacky and a bit creative, like he said? If you make a unique design, it could sell really well. So there's a lot of benefits to that, and I think it would be good to see Wrexham go into our new kits next season with sort of a different approach, because I think Macron for the past couple of seasons, we've sort of seen the same design. I know they're completely different, but you can sort of tell that, we're not going to see anything outlandish in the next couple of years if we do stay with Macron, and I'd like to see a different approach to our shirts. Finally, what you've clicked on this video to see, we've got some stadium and Kop news from Michael Williamson. Now, some very interesting news, of course, regarding the future stadium plans at Wrexham Football Club. Now, following Rob and Ryan's dream of reaching a 55,000 seater stadium, Williamson has given us more of a realistic approach of what to expect in the future renovations and expansion of the world famous racecourse ground. Williamson has said that an 18,000 seater stadium in the very medium term would be a good start. He's hoping that will be achieved in the next 3 to 5 years. That would include, of course, the 5,500 seater Kop Stand and possibly the expansion to the Wrexham Lager Stand, which is, of course, the next priority in terms of stadium renovation and expansion at Wrexham Football Club in the projected plans. So, of course, we'll have that 5,500 seater Kop. There's, of course, the ability to increase that to 7.5, and whether they'll build the extra 2,000 seats on the Wrexham Lager Stand is another question. He also was questioned on, the future stadium plans for Wrexham Football Club in the years to come, and he said a realistic plan for when Wrexham Football Club is competing at the highest level is between 28 and 32,000. This number has been significantly reduced due to the lack of land available surrounding the racecourse ground. Of course, you've got the train station backing up where the Kop Stand is going to be. You've got the Mould Road stand. It sort of speaks for itself. It's on the Mould Road. There's a road literally right behind the stand. You've got the Tech End, which backs up into the university, and the Wrexham Lager Stand, which probably could have a bit of work built on it because, of course, we've got the car parks. And then you've got the really annoying university flats that sort of come in a bend around the Wrexham Lager Stand and the new Kop Stand. So it's very disappointing that, of course, if we were anywhere else, we'd have probably had a lot more room and a lot more ability to expand the stadium. But where the racecourse ground is located is, of course, surrounded by houses, roads, a train station, a university flats. Everything you could possibly think of is around the racecourse ground. He also said as well, it's very important to future-proof the wider development of the racecourse ground and the redevelopment in the years to come of Wrexham Football Club. They need to make generational decisions which will help the club in the next 10 to 15 and 30 years time, which I think is really realistic, and I think you've got to look at that. We can get carried away with the project at the minute, we can get super excited that we've gone back-to-back promotions, but we have to look at, securing this club's stability in years to come and, hopefully continue meeting the demand and hopefully continue rising as a football club. And to do that now, I think would be really important. I think he's saying this in terms of course, the stadium, building the Kop Stand and building it early. So in years to come, we won't have to worry about these issues, which I think is a really good idea. And I think it's really sensible that we've got these people behind the scenes that are making these really logical decisions. And of course it's easy to, you know, have this massive takeover, but if the club's not run well behind the scenes, then it's not going to succeed, and we've got the right people behind the scenes who are making the right decisions. And talking on the Kop Stand, Williamson said the Kop will originally be built at a capacity of 5,500, but it will have the ability to expand to 7,500. He also stated some really good news and some really exciting news. The designs that have been drawn up by Populous are set to be released at the start of February, which could be as early as next week. So I'm really excited to see these plans. Rob McElhenney said these plans only work for Wrexham, and they want to create a quote-unquote cauldron for the racecourse grounds. So some very exciting words and some very exciting pictures will hopefully be released to the Wrexham AFC fans in the next coming days. I'm really excited to see that, so make sure you click the notification bell so you can see my reaction for when they do come out. Yeah, really excited to see them. Something interesting as well that Wrexham did tweet about is an advert with Stoke Cold Brew on the date of the Super Bowl. So whether Wrexham Football Club are going to have a Super Bowl advert when the Super Bowl is on would just be genuinely ridiculous. You know, on one of the most viewed sports events that happen every single year. So that's going to be an interesting watch as well to see if Wrexham Football Club are on that. Sam Smith is the latest name to be rumoured to Wrexham Football Club. We've apparently made a late swoop for him. It's a name you might remember because I talked about Sam Smith on a video, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, of strikers Wrexham Football Club should sign. So should Wrexham recruit me as a scout? Probably not, but it would be an interesting video. If you haven't checked that out, then make sure to go on my channel. I think it was, like I said, 2 weeks ago now, 5 or 6 videos ago. So I went into in-depth of what the striker we can expect from Sam Smith. I think it is what we need, a striker like Sam Smith. He's prolific in front of goal. I think the past 4 seasons he scored multiple goals. I think it was 60 plus, it might even be more than that. The man's a machine. He can get up front, he can score the goals, he can do the dirty work, and, you know, give him the ball and he will create that chance. So it would be a signing I would like to see. Whether it's going to happen before the end of the transfer window is another question. We've sort of left it a bit late. I don't understand why we do this every single window. And then later on in the transfer window, we sort of panic and, you know, leave it so late. And there must be a reason why this happens. Of course, we might have gone in from earlier, but Reading might have been holding out. But, you know, we're 2 days away from the window ending. Why are we leaving it this late? Why didn't we just do our business early in the transfer window when we've got a busy schedule coming up? I really don't know. I genuinely cannot get my head around it, but let's hope we can see Sam Smith sign in hopefully the next 48 hours or so. So let me know your thoughts on the possible signing in the comment section down below. And yeah, that's the end of it. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Up the town.